Hello, I hope everyone's doing well in this new life of quarantine that we're all living. I am currently coming up on 8 months of being on testosterone. When I watch a lot of other trans people talk about what transitioning was like for them, I hear a lot of people talking about how the changes came before you knew it and how the time just flew by. But that's not the case for everyone. I saw a post from one person who was transitioning MTF who discussed how they weren't sure if they wanted to continue taking hormones because they felt like they were going backwards. They thought they were becoming more masculine, and this observation was discouraging them. I thought about this, and what came to my mind was the fact that once you start beginning hormones that first day, you're very excited and happy, but then afterward you're kind of like, okay, now what? Nothing changed that moment after you started. And slowly it sinks in exactly how slow it can be. During this time, you'll begin looking for changes. Looking at yourself in the mirror, looking at your body, trying to say, oh, is there any changes? And while looking at these changes, you may start noticing more, whether you're transitioning from male to female or female to male, you'll notice more, in my case, I'll notice more feminine looking qualities. While in the case of this other person's post, they were noticing more masculine qualities. It wasn't that they were becoming more masculine, it's just that this constant looking for changes, they begin to realize more and see more of their masculine qualities, which can overall make transitioning rather discouraging. This isn't something everyone goes through, but enough people do that it's worth mentioning. The important thing is to just be aware that that can happen, especially if you haven't started hormones yet, that this may be something you'll end up having to go through. And to help, I have a few tips that I think can be very helpful if this is what you're struggling with. From the get-go, when I started transitioning, I started taking photos and videos of my transition. Now, really at the time, for many years, I was very closeted about being trans and had difficulty talking about it. So when I finally began to transition, I almost overcompensated and wanted to talk and see a lot more about it, hence why I started making videos occasionally. But having this documentation can really help later on after months go by and you feel like nothing's changed. You can look at these photos and compare it to more recent and see, oh no, there's changes. It's slow, but it's happening. Another thing to note with that is not to obsess over these pictures. You'll want to compare them after just 2 weeks and you'll see nothing's really changed, and it can be very discouraging. It's good to take the photos, but to try not to focus too much on them. Another important thing is to take a break from watching trans people online like you're doing right now. From viewing other trans people, you begin to basically get a better eye for lack of a better term, clocking trans people. And you may start constantly doing this to yourself while you're looking in the mirror and waiting for changes. And this can be very damaging to your self-esteem and just be very unpleasant. By taking a break from looking at trans people and watching all these things, you begin to lose that eye for catching clockable traits as easily. Another important thing is to try and focus on other things, like the new Animal Crossing game that came out. It's very easy to get all wrapped up into, I'm transitioning now, what am I looking forward to looking at trans people online, just thinking about it all the time. And the best thing to do is really try and think less about it, because it is a long waiting period for changes. Recently, I've taken a big break from looking at trans things and following other people on the internet. I think it's done me pretty good. I guess the important thing is to be prepared, especially if you haven't started transitioning yet. That can be a rocky journey, and just to remember that it takes time and to just try and have patience. Hopefully you found something I said useful, and I wish everyone the best of luck.